The next speaker, that's going to be okay with everyone, is DiDomenico. He is Assistant Professor of Communication and Media at Chester, and he is also an ex-PhD student of Jenny's.
Thank you so much. So I'm so delighted to be here. I'm in the years of Jenny's here at Rutgers. I'm also here, of course, to talk about what a tremendous impact she's had on graduate students like Heidi, myself, and many, many others out there in the world. Many who never even went to Rutgers, but all over the world, right? So I've learned so much from this woman, and in my research, she taught me over and over again to always bring this back to action. What are people actually doing through their talk? And in my teaching, she taught me to always reach the students in their own worlds, starting with things they already know, and then building up to more conceptual or technical concepts. In mentoring undergraduate students, she taught me to always lead with compassion, while setting high standards for students to rise to meet. In terms of having an impact at faculty meetings, so when I was the lucky graduate student to be able to see how she conducts herself around other faculty, I observed some of the most amazing strategies to make a crucial point about something like policy or curriculum while saying so little, right? So concise. I could go on and on like this with all these academic and life lessons about Jenny that she's imparted to me. The truth is, the heart of it all, I would simply not be a professor today if it were not for Jenny's belief in me. So when I first came to Rutgers in 2009, I did not have a full funding package. So many would say this is essential to succeeding and having financial stability and the long road to getting a PhD. So the graduate program director at the time, Jeffrey Robinson, we just heard from him, explained there had been a drop in funding, there was a recession that was starting right then, and he assured me there would be other options I could pursue once I began the program. So despite some pretty strong warnings from family and friends, at the risk of taking out some loans at the time, I packed up my life in the Midwest, and I moved everything to start my new life in New Jersey. They say you have to take big leaps of faith in life, and boy, was this a big one, but Rutgers felt like the right thing for me. As you can tell, I'm a total public crier, so I'm struggling. So I'm going to try to lighten the mood a little bit, and I'm actually just skipped something really important. Hold on. So let me go back to that story. Let's see. So I managed to get a few different pockets of work across different colleges that year. One was at Marymount Manhattan College. One was at Middlesex College down the street. And even with all that, I started to have my doubts about whether I could keep up with everything and imagine how long it would set me back or keep me later at New Brunswick. So later that spring, I was suddenly informed that I would receive one of the coveted multi-year funding packages starting the next year. One of the newest allies I had made in the School of Communication and Information, Wayland Kuo, told me that it was Jenny who had tirelessly advocated for me behind the scenes. So to be clear, this is the first way that Jenny transformed my life. So I would not be here if she did not believe in me. So, you know Jenny though. You know Jenny though, she does stuff like this all the time without needing any recognition at all. It's in her DNA. So, starting to hold it together, and I want to lighten the mood a bit, and I want to keep Jenny on her toes. Tell her one more story here. So, flash forward a few months, I was now Jenny's TA in the communication department and I had the honor of helping her with the signature course, Intro to Communication, COM 101, as many of us so affectionately know it. During this time, I was so determined to make sure Jenny didn't regret her belief in me. I wanted nothing more than to be her top TA. So it was an October day, not too different than maybe the weather we're going into. And so myself and the other TAs always accompanied her in her walk from the communication building down to Scott Hall, where the class has almost always been. We entered the lecture hall at the usual time for the class, and then suddenly, Jenny realized she did not have her dongle. Now, if you don't know what a dongle is, it's this little white connector cord that connects only Mac computers for some reason. Thank you, Apple. But you need this cord, and we didn't have it. Jenny always has it. Jenny is so hyper-organized and so just the ultimate planner. And for the first time, she looked a little bit stressed. She looked a little bit panicked. And this meant she would not be able to present the slides that she typically prepares for every class in Com 101. Now, somewhere in here, she looks at us, and it hit me. I knew what needed to happen. There wasn't much time before the class would start, and we needed to figure something out quickly so we'd be able to prepare the students for the upcoming exam. This was my moment to prove myself to Jenny and show her I would go above and beyond for her. I couldn't just go get her dongle in her office. I needed to sprint down College Ave and make it back by the time class started. After all, when you're a graduate student, you really learn that it's part of your job to preserve the integrity of the class. And at times, this means really making sure that students see the professor in the absolute best light. Since I was already learning of Jenny's world-class reputation as a teacher on campus, I really took this to heart. I wanted nothing to tarnish Jenny's reputation as the ultra prepared and passionate teacher in Com 101. So I set off with Jenny's keys, sporting my brand new shiny black dress shoes I got a couple days before, and I got up to College Ave, and I booked it down campus to get to the communication building. Now for context, I want to add here, you might be wondering, let me say first, this is back in the day when I used to run several times a week. So when I say that I dashed like Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump, I absolutely did. And I have vague memories of also seeing several people from the PhD program, or even faculty, on my run there, and they were sort of looking at me like, what's happening? And I said, can't talk now, Jenny needs me. Right? So wave them off. There was nothing but adrenaline pumping through me. So you might be wondering, why couldn't we just put the PowerPoint slides on a flash drive? Or why couldn't we just upload them to the internet and put them on someone's laptop? I didn't stop to think about that. I'm not even sure we were thinking that way. I had to run. I had to run. So I got out to the office and I grabbed the cord and sprinted right back, arriving back at the lecture hall with a few minutes when the class was supposed to start. The gigantic smile on Jenny's face is something I will not forget. So it made it all worth it. Because I wanted to come through for Jenny just like she did for me. Moving ahead about 4 years later, I was working on getting my dissertation off the ground, and there was another major setback for me. There was some stuff going on with whether I could do the dissertation I wanted, and for the first time in a long time, I thought about quitting. It was one of the most difficult times I've ever had. And Jenny was there once again, and she would always check in with me. She would make sure I was doing okay. And I only learned this a year later, but she had also done things behind the scenes to help save the day. So once again, Jenny came through because that's what she does for people, that she cares about. So, I would not be here in my life, personally or professionally, without Jenny. As some here likely know, though, just to acknowledge kind of the space and the times we're living in, teaching has also been a different kind of animal over the past few years, since the pandemic started. There are times where we found ourselves questioning, why are we even doing this? And it's been many of these moments when I have thought about Jenny, even if only for a single class meeting. It helps me reconnect with some of that fun and curiosity that Jenny always brings to her classes. I'm forever grateful for capturing some of that spirit when I was here at Rutgers. And I know, and others out there, I'm not the only graduate student who sometimes hears Jenny in their head when they are doing research or teaching a class. So let me end here by congratulating Jenny on a truly awe-inspiring career at Rutgers and a most fabulous next act of your life. Rutgers will never be the same without you. Congratulations.